Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I always had trouble with writing down my goals. I've never really been the type of person to actually write down my goals and then accomplish them. I had to just do it. I just had to take action, visualize it, and just force myself to actually take on my goal. I was never the type to use these strategies to accomplish my goals. But I recently just discovered this whole new way of looking at it and whole new way of actually writing down your goals, setting them, and achieving them, tracking them, all kinds of things. This is something that I created. It's a technique that works for me and I believe will work for a lot of you as well. So I wanted to share that with you guys today because it is a life changer and it has helped me grow so much, whether it comes to my work, my goals and dreams and aspirations, YouTube, blogging, everything. So if you want to learn about the new way that I discovered to set goals and track them and achieve them, then just keep watching. There's many people that do bullet journaling and where they write down their goals and they track their days and their months and their weeks, and it's a lot of different techniques and it just overwhelms me. It's way too much for me. So I like to simplify things, especially when there are goals and things that I want to do in life. I want to simplify myself and my life so that I actually have time to really accomplish the goals. I don't want to have a technique where I'm spending most of my time writing them down rather than actually taking action. So that's why I created a goal book. The way that I use my goal book is that I only write down 3 goals at a time. I just focus on 3 goals at a time. Whether they're long-term or short-term, I really don't think that there's a difference. The way that I see it is that short-term goals connect and lead anyways to the long-term goals. So you write down 3 goals, just 3 at a time. And now it could be a mix of goals that might take you longer to accomplish, or it could be a short-term goal where you can definitely accomplish it within a month, within just a couple of weeks or months. And I also call it a journal because you'll see in a second that I actually just also use this as a journal, but I'll go into that later. I like to have everything in one place. I don't want to have that many notebooks and then I end up not using any. I like to simplify myself because I feel like when I simplify things in my life, I'm actually more likely to use them and to actually apply the things and the techniques that I'm using. So once you first open the book, the first page is where I write my goals. So as you can see, I have like bullets all the way down this page, but it's because every time I accomplish one or more of the 3 goals, I scratch them off and then I write a new one. So my first 3 goals once I did this book were, the number 1 was to publish an ebook, which is more of a long-term goal. So I'm still working on that. So the first one was publish an ebook. My first goal was to publish an ebook. Another way that I use this book is to track the goals. Not only write them down and set them, I also track them. So anything that I can write down connected to any of these 3 goals, I will write it in this book. So the first goal is to publish an ebook. Now that's more of a long-term goal. So since the first goal was to publish an ebook, I have here titled the first page, the next page, my ebook. And so I have here written the steps that I need to take in order to accomplish the goal, the kind of research questions that I want to find the answers to, the things that I want to learn about writing an ebook, and about whatever topic I choose to write the ebook about. And then here I have my book ideas and keywords that I won't show much of. And then here is number 3, the book outline. So here's where I would write my book outline, and obviously I'm not there yet because it's blank. And then here is where the book title, options, ideas would go. And then that's about it. Until then I find something else that I want to add to that goal, anything that's connected to that. I would just write it down on whatever page is next. I'll just make sure to title it my ebook. Because honestly, organization is good, but not to the extent where it's like you're losing your common sense because of it. Because I don't need page numbers. I'll just write wherever I want, you know? So that just works for me though. Other people might need that kind of organization. obviously I have not published an ebook yet, and I still have a lot to go. So I obviously am going to leave that goal right here. So the second goal is to write 3 blog posts a week. And so I also tracked that goal. So after the whole ebook pages, the next pages were my blog posts. So I'll just write a page titled blog posts every time it's a new week. So right here I have the title blog posts, and then I have the 3 dates where I would post a blog post. Now on the September 24th, I have the title here, and I wrote one. On the 25th of September, I posted another blog post. But then on the September 27th, I did not. So therefore, I'm not gonna scratch off that goal yet. I still wanna at least be consistent for a month before I scratch off a goal. And so by writing it down, I can see that I was not consistent that week because I only posted 2. So then the next week, I have 3 dates, 1, 2, 3. I actually posted the blog post. And sometimes when I do write the title, I also use this book for like the bullet points on what I'm going to write about in my blog posts. Sometimes I'll use that as well. And so then I'll move on to the next page. And this week, I actually posted 4 blog posts. In my opinion, that is still not being consistent because I said to myself it was going to be 3 blog posts a week. So the next week, I'm going to wait at least 2 more weeks to see if I can do it. And then if I can, then I'll scratch off that goal. But for now, I haven't met that goal yet. So I'm going to leave it there. And then let's go back to the main page. So the third goal is to practice photography and take pictures every weekend. I have stayed consistent on that. Obviously, a goal like taking pictures every weekend is not something that I can write on my book, my goal book, but that's okay. I would just do it and track my progress. Obviously, through my camera and through the posts, the pictures that I post, I could tell, obviously, if I have been practicing the photography every weekend and taking pictures for my blog and for my videos and all that sorts of stuff. So I scratched off the photography goal, and then my next goal that I wanted to set is to read at least 3 to 5 books a month. And so I have not met that yet because I just started this month, November. So once I see myself being consistent with it for at least 3 months, 2 months, then I will scratch that goal off and then write a new one so that I always have 3. And why 3, you may ask? Because 3 is the perfect number for me to just focus on those goals. If I write more than 3 goals down, I might get overwhelmed and I might not accomplish any. So I feel like 3 is just enough to focus on the goals and to actually make progress. Because if less than 3 is not really making progress for me, 3 is a good amount of goals to make progress in your life. That is how I do my goal book. Now I also use this as a journal. So I started journaling not too long ago, and what I do is I just write a journal entry every day, and I would just talk about my day. And I did this because there's a lot of thoughts that go through my head throughout the day. There's things that we see in our day or go through, and then we get this thought in our heads, and those thoughts might go away right away because that is just how we're programmed. We think all these things throughout our day, and our brains are on autopilot. Maybe you learned a lesson that day. Since you didn't have anything to write it down, you might just forget the next day about that experience. So what I do is if I've learned a lesson in a day, or if a really good thought came to my mind, that I can use that thought maybe as a quote of myself, just a quote that I can create by myself, or maybe it's something that can help me throughout my journey. Maybe it's something that can help me stay motivated. Maybe something that I figured out. And usually the thoughts that I have in my days are just thoughts that help me get a better look at life. Maybe it's a shift in perspective that day. Or maybe it's like another way to look at something. Maybe I realized or I found another way to look at something or another way to look at life. And so those thoughts just go away if I don't write it down and I don't remember. So journaling has helped me with that and just get my thoughts out on paper. And it's another way to just look back on, it's kind of like a diary where you look back and you see what kind of personality or what kind of state of mind did you have in that day, that month, that year. And it's another way to track your progress, track your goals. So basically, I would go throughout my day and I just write throughout my day. And let's say I didn't have a morning that I enjoyed, or maybe I didn't feel like I worked out hard enough, or maybe I should have woken up earlier. I'd write that in that journal entry too. Another thing that I do is I write the date, but I also write the title. And obviously, usually journal entries don't have titles, they just have the date on them. But I like to title my journal entries. And the reason I do that is because I can look at the title and then maybe with that title, with the words that I chose to name that journal entry, I can already know what happened that day. What was my experience? What was my thought process? What was my realization that day? What I'll do is that I'll just do a whole another video on how to journal and about journaling, because I feel I have a lot of thoughts on journaling and I've just discovered a whole new experience, a whole new world with journaling, and I would like to make a video on that. So if you guys want to see that, give this video a thumbs up so that I know that you guys want to see a video on journaling. But other than that, that is my goal book, and that is how I've been setting my goals, tracking them, and accomplishing them. Everyone has their own way of doing things. This is my way. I like simplifying the process of planning, journaling, or anything that's organization. I like to simplify that so that I can just focus on actually doing the things that I'm planning. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you guys want to see more videos on goals and goal tracking, journaling in the comment section down below. Also, question of the day, let me know how you guys accomplish your goals. What is the best technique that you have used? If you have any, let me know in the comments down below. I will love to know. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave if you're not already, and I will see you in my next video.